So let me go back to the whole cutting parts out of a game to make it DLC. That's exactly what BioWare did to Mass Effect 3. The Omega DLC was in the original Mass Effect 3 because people found some files. Now I don't know the exact terms of what they found or whatever, but I think it was the PC version. They found some stuff about the Omega mission in the original Mass Effect. So they obviously took it out. And another reason how we know is that they took it out is because if you read the Invasion, it was Invasion, in the Invasion comics about Arya, if you read those, you know that it was already planned to continue in Mass Effect 3. The Omega DLC was supposed to continue in Mass Effect 3. And they didn't. They just left it out. And it was like, that's why it was so weird. And a lot of people don't, they're just like, well, it's just a new mission. It's like, no, it was part of the game. It was supposed to be part of the game. And that's what frustrates me the most about Omega, is that that was one of the things that I went into Mass Effect 3 expecting, was the Omega DLC or the Omega mission. I wanted to know what was going to happen to Arya because I had read that comic. And it said on there, it left you on a cliffhanger, and it said, find out what happens in Mass Effect 3. And it left you on the cliffhanger of Arya leaving Omega, having to leave Omega. And she's just like, kind of like, I'm gonna get my revenge. And it says continues in Mass Effect 3, and it didn't. And you're just like, where is it? Like, what the hell? Especially the people that read that comic, because they were expecting that, because they had been promised pretty much that conclusion in Mass Effect 3. So my point about mentioning all this is just the bad reputation that developers get when you start messing with gamers and you start messing with franchises, especially when you had already established what the franchise was, and then all of a sudden you start changing it, and all of it. And like, again, I use Mass Effect just because it's so prominent right now how different it was from what they had established in the beginning with Mass Effect 1, and all of a sudden what it was in Mass Effect 3. It still had that emotion, that drama in it, that story-based and character-based storyline. It still had that, what it always had. But all of a sudden, this action RPG that was more of an RPG than anything else, you get your loyal fans that have been there from the beginning, they weren't even thought of. Yeah, you get people playing Mass Effect 3 and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm going to play Mass Effect 1 and 2. That's awesome. You gained some fans. But what about the people that have been there from the beginning? What about those people? Like, what about the people that pretty much made you who you are, that got you to where you were? If it weren't for those people, Mass Effect 1 wouldn't have even been good. It wouldn't have made the sales that it did. So why not consider those gamers also really important? It's like, no. Let's get more people. Let's get more fans. They're already there. They'll play the freaking game. They'll play Mass Effect 3. Let's get more people. So you get an awesome game, Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 2 was really good. But then you get Mass Effect 3, which was also good, but it's not even considered to be an RPG anymore. It's more of an action shooter. Now, it's not so much that I care about this. Like, I love the game anyways, but what I'm trying to say is that that's where all the hate comes from a lot of people. That's where it comes, because they start feeling, a lot of people start, when developers or publishers start doing this, a lot of people start feeling like they're personally being put aside. Like, they're just like, oh, you don't matter. We're going to do whatever we freaking want. It's ours. It's our IP. It's our franchise. We do whatever the hell we want. You like it or you don't. We don't care, because we're getting more people. And it's just like, it becomes something personal for a lot of people. That's why there was so much negativity. It was like, they don't care. They don't care about the fans. We were with this from the beginning. That's where you get all this negativity, bad reputation. You start to sink those developers. You start to sink them, and afterwards they don't even know how to get out of the hole anymore. They start to almost plead with the fans and showing them, no, look, we do care. Here's some free stuff. Look, we do care, when it's already too late. What I'm saying is that it's a horrible, horrible marketing attempt, because and the publisher's not going to go down. They own so many devs. They have so many games. Pretty much EA is up on top of the sports games. So they're probably not going anywhere. They got worst company of the year last year. They're like, well, okay, whatever. We got some recognition at least. They don't care. What about the devs? What about the developers? It's like, they'll keep making games. People don't want to buy their games. All right, we'll have someone else do make our games, and we'll profit out of that. And that's what gets the bad reputation for publishers. And I don't understand why that would be their goal. I don't understand why they wouldn't care. If they want to make money, you want to have your consumers on your side. Like EA is saying that every game now that they publish has to have a multiplayer aspect to it. A lot of people were enraged about this and saying like, oh my god, this is outrageous and all this stuff. It didn't surprise me. I was like, well, that's pretty much what it's been for a long time. I mean, if it wasn't that, Mass Effect 3 wouldn't have had multiplayer. It was like, well, obviously it was going to do that. Like, it didn't surprise me at all. Especially knowing the type of publisher that EA is, that they don't care. They've gained that reputation and they don't care. Here's what I think did it best. Gears of War did it the best, I think, because Gears of War was a shooter, gory as hell, and it was all about shooting and killing things. And I loved that game. It was so much fun. It was epic. They care a lot about the Gears of War story. They care a lot about it. But did they all of a sudden add like freaking RPG elements or make the game longer? Because Gears of War has always been a short game. They didn't make it longer. They didn't add more storyline to it. They didn't turn it into something that it's never been. They've kept it true to what it is, and the story, they kept it for the books. They're just like, all right, people that want to know more about the story, let's say those RPGers that want to know all about the background of the characters and all that, and what happens afterwards and what happened before, all those people, they could read the books. A lot of people are like, why do I have to read the book to get the full experience? You don't have to. You don't. I mean, if you don't want to know, then why would you even read it? You're playing Gears of War to play Gears of War and have fun. You're not playing it for the story. Or if you are, then you just want to experience the story that's in the game. That's it. If you don't want to read the book, don't read a book. So here's what I think should be done to benefit both parties. Not only the publishers and the developers, but also the gamers. To be honest, you can't just say, well, stop doing it. Because that would be selfish on either part. Like, publishers can't be selfish, because when you are, you're gonna get some bad reputation, and you don't want that. It's a bad marketing move. And the gamers can't say, well, then don't do it. Let's just not forget that. Like, they want to they just want to sell stuff. They just want to make money. Well, obviously they do want to make money. I mean, you kind of want developers to make money, because they will go out of business if they don't. But there's got to be a middle ground. There's got to be a middle ground for both, or else one side or the other is going to suffer. First of all, developers should make games as they were meant to be. Make the game how you had it envisioned. Don't cut it up. Whatever it needs to be in that game to make it full and complete, do it. Don't cut it out. Because if you start cutting crap out, we'll notice. Trust me. Omega was one of the biggest slaps in the face. So instead of cutting content, what devs should do is come up with new storylines. Come up with new content that will expand the story that you already did, that you already said, the story that you already had your gamers play. Come up with a new storyline, something that will expand on something. You could find it. It's easy. I know it's easy. Just read the fan fiction websites. Those are all like the potential DLCs. If people could do it, if fans could do it, the devs could do it. Second is don't release more than 2 expansions a year. But this all, of course, this all depends on the size of the expansion. Like, let's say Dawnguard was huge. That's probably a good size expansion for a year for Skyrim. Maybe another little one. Especially when I'm talking about expansions, like expansions of the storyline, like, oh wow, they're going into this or whatever that I just got a glimpse of in the game. You will get people really interested, but don't make it often. Don't do it so often so that people are like, another one, really? If the expansion is small, like let's say Mass Effect 2's layer, the Shadow Broker, that was pretty small, or Dragon Age, the Dragon Age Origins Witch Hunt, that was pretty small. Another one was Gears of War 3 Rom's Shadow. That was pretty small. Price it low. Don't price it high. Price it low, especially if it's crucial to the storyline. Like, I can't emphasize this more. If it's crucial to the storyline, and one of the examples is Arrival for Mass Effect 2. Arrival was pretty crucial for Mass Effect 3. Like, people that didn't play Arrival, I think, missed out a little bit. For those types of expansions that are pretty crucial to the storyline, or kind of like you should play this, should be priced low, especially those should be cheap, because you want people to play it. And if you price it high, you're pretty much saying, well, too bad, only those of you that could play it or that wanted to buy it are going to get it. Like, if you don't, then you're probably going to be lost in Mass Effect 3. And that's just too bad. Like, that sucks. It's price it really low so that people will play it, so that people will get it. And you're not leaving people behind, or not leaving people in the dark. Arrival was really short. And if you price it low, people aren't going to feel very cheated, because they're going to be like, okay, well, it was cheap and I kind of needed to know about it, and it was a good hype for Mass Effect 3, and it was like, oh, I can't wait, For something like Dragon Age Awakening or Skyrim Dawnguard, expansions that add a wide variety of new gameplay, new storyline to add to the original, new characters, new quests. I mean, Dawnguard can range from 15 to 20 hours, like I said. It could be considered a small game already, and it adds so much. It adds so much to Skyrim. I mean, Dawnguard was such a good expansion. Those types of expansions, and I mean, I can't even leave Awakening out of that. Awakening was freaking awesome also. These should be priced higher because they're worth it. People can't say that Dawnguard wasn't worth what they paid for. And people can't say that Awakening wasn't worth what they paid for, because it is a huge piece of expansion to the storyline, and it has new characters, new quests, new abilities, new all this stuff. I mean, Awakening had new classes, subclasses that you could be, which was so cool, because it was like, oh, nice, I could start leveling up my warden as something different, and you would have a better, like a new experience all over again, and you had new party members, and it was awesome. It was like, dude, I thought it was worth it. Another thing is no release day DLCs. A lot of people hate this. Release day DLC, it's like, dude, I mean, why didn't you just give it to the people? Why didn't you just say, here's something for pre-orders, or here's a gift from us to you. Thank you for buying our game. Could you imagine how happy gamers would be if you said that? All of a sudden it's like, oh my god, I got this new character because I bought the game or something. It's like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, oh, that's so awesome. Or I got it because I pre-ordered it, this character. But don't make it storyline specific characters where it's like, oh, well, you only get this character and he's a pretty big deal if you pre-ordered it. It's like, no, don't make him a big deal. Make him something that's small where people would be like, okay, whatever, I didn't need him. But for someone like say Javik, a lot of people were pissed off about that, and a lot of people were like, well, you didn't really need him for the storyline. He wasn't really needed. But who wouldn't want to know the opinion of a freaking Prothean on these missions? I didn't really like Javik, But I was glad to have him because a lot of times he would provide the perception of a Prothean, and it was just like, oh my god, we were so we were so confused about the Protheans. They were not like we thought they were, and it was just interesting. As annoying as he was to me, I thought he was a great addition to the game. So they shouldn't make big characters like that. Don't do this because it's a horrible marketing skill. A lot of people hate it. You are going to get bad reputation because people are going to be saying, this is first day DLC. Why wasn't this character in the game already? Don't have special characters before the release of the game. For example, Zaid from Mass Effect 2 and Sebastian from Dragon Age 2. These characters were obviously intended to be in the game in the first place because they were created before the release of the game. So instead of wasting time making the character available for some and unavailable for others, make a full-on character and do them the justice they deserve. I was so mad with Zaid that he didn't have his cinematics like everybody else did. Whenever you would go and talk to him, it was just like he was just standing there. He was like, he'd say his little spiel, and he was just standing there. Zaid, I mean, Kasumi's a different story, but Zaid was obviously, he could have obviously been in that game because he was made before the release of the game. So why not just have him in there and do him justice and give him cinematics like every freaking character? So like I said, Kasumi is different because she came after Mass Effect 2. I could understand that already. She came after Mass Effect 2. You're not going to be able to have all the cinematics with her. She's just going to be sitting there every time you talk to her. She's just going to be sitting there and then telling you a few things about what she thinks, and then that's it. Okay, she came after Mass Effect 2. But Zaid didn't. Zaid was on the release day. He was already there. Don't do those characters, those special characters that come for some people and for other people. No, don't do that because that just sucks. And you screw that character up. Now I'm going to talk about add-ons. Add-ons, I think a lot of people think that this would probably be a bad marketing move, but I think this would be a great marketing move because you would get people on your side. And I say this because I've seen it as an example with CD Projekt Red, that the more they give, the more they get. Small add-ons should be gifts that are achieved by completing certain tasks. Let's say you do some kind of a challenge or something like that, something like achievement worthy. Instead of getting a few points, you get a weapon skin for free. It's like, oh, freaking A, dude, that's awesome. I'm going to keep playing this and get all the other ones so that I could get more skins, or that I could get, don't even get me started on Fable 3, dude. Don't even get me started on Fable 3. Do not, that's another one. Do not pull a Fable 3 because, oh my god. Oh my god. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about with Fable 3, this was ridiculous. This is what you should never do as a developer or a publisher. In Fable 3, you had dyes, like as in DYE, dyes to color your clothing or to color your hair or whatever. You had black dye, you had yellow dye, whatever. In previous Fable games, you were able to buy these at shops. And I mean, by buy, I mean like video game currency, not your own currency. In Fable 3, you had to buy the black dye with your own damn money. They were add-ons that you had to buy, and it was so stupid. Do not do that. Like, if you're not gonna have that dye available, if you don't want that dye available for some freaking reason, make it a gift for someone. Like, oh, you killed 10 birds from the sky or whatever. Oh, here's a black dye for you. It's like, oh, all right, cool, thanks. You gift people things, little things. These things have no worth. Only people that have a lot of money are going to spend money on that crap. So, like I said, gifts attached to specific achievements. I'm reading some of my notes because I keep on forgetting some of these things. But, like, let's say kill 20 enemies through a headshot using a sniper rifle. If you do this, you get, let's say, your achievement, but you also get a new sniper rifle for free or something like that. Like, you're gifted either a sniper rifle skin, or you're gifted a new sniper rifle. It's like, oh my god, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. And you would have people playing, you would have people playing the game and being enthusiastic about playing it, because they're like, oh my god, I have to do this. Like, the achievements would now not only be, oh yeah, I achieved it and I got these points. No, now it's like, I'm getting stuff. Like, these devs, they care enough about me, and they're thanking me constantly for playing the game. You feel like they're like, there's this gratitude there that you are playing their game. That I mean, devs and publishers should care about this stuff. If I was a dev, if I was a developer or a publisher, I'd be like, dude, give these guys some stuff. Like, I would totally do this whole thing about achievements attached with gifts. I mean, little freaking gifts, little freaking add-ons that people all of a sudden put in some, like, three guns. You get 3 guns for who knows how many freaking Microsoft points. And it's like, really? I have to pay for that? Like, why don't you just give a specific gift every now and then and make, just like, saying thank you for playing our game? I mean, we're the people that buy your game. We're the people that pay for your game. We deserve that kind of thing every now and then. That's nothing. That's nothing. Little tiny things like that, it's nothing. It's so doable. Another example would be, like, use a specific party member for a specific amount of missions and you get a new outfit for that party member. But no, they always go, oh, let's do, what are they called? Weapon packs and outfit packs or whatever. And what does it do? It gives Garrus freaking a new visor, and he's wearing something black now, and freaking Jack has a hat or whatever. And it's like, no, thank you. For when it comes to multiplayer games, award players with new maps. You won't lose money, trust me, by gifting one new map every once in a while. Save some bigger, more intriguing maps for map packs and charge cheap. This also brings me to Kickstarter. Kickstarter, just recently, they had, like, this big boom of video game developers. People just, not extremely popular developers, trying to pretty much be published by the gamer. And I think this is an awesome idea, because it works. I mean, look at FTL. FTL was a Kickstarter, and it did so well. The best example, I think, or at least that I'm really excited about, is the project that's called Project Eternity by Obsidian. Now, Obsidian, a lot of these people worked on bigger games. Like, I think they worked on, like, Fallout 2 as well, or something like that. They did, like, little things in a lot of well-known games, but they're, as a developer, they don't stand alone. So they pretty much need to be published in order to get the funds to make a video game on their own. And for those of you that don't know about this, I will provide links in the description. Please go check it out if you don't know about Project Eternity. It looks like such a great idea. It's an RPG type of game, kind of similar to, like, Baldur's Gate. I believe they kind of worked. I don't know how they were involved, but they did work with BioWare on Baldur's Gate, one of the Baldur's Gates. Their goal was $1 million. That's what their goal on Kickstarter was. Currently, they are. Yesterday I checked. I don't know about today, but they were really, really close to $4 million that they have raised. And the really cool thing about this is that they do exactly what I'm saying about gifting. But they go way out. They go way freaking out to encourage people. They have, like, these reward tiers. For now, there's so many. You guys should check this out so you could see exactly what I'm talking about keeping the gamer in mind, about making these games for the gamer and not just to sell something. Thinking about the real success of the game, which is, why would you make a game anyways? Why would you make a game if you're not passionate about the success of it, and you're not passionate about the people that will play it? I mean, if I were to make a game and people were to play it, I would be eternally grateful. I would have so much respect for those people. I would want to give them so much in return for just playing my game. I'd be like, dude, here's some free stuff every now and then. It would be nothing, especially for huge franchises. So please check this out on like I said, I put the link in the description. When it comes to the Kickstarter thing and Project Eternity, it looks amazing. It looks so good. It's going to be made. It's one of the reasons why I want a PC, is to play this game. It looks so good. And they're giving so many rewards to people, like in thanks, because if it weren't for these people, they wouldn't be making this game. And in many ways, that applies to every developer. I don't care how big you are. It applies to every developer, that if it wasn't for the person buying your damn game, you wouldn't make it. You wouldn't be where you are. And they should never forget that. And a lot of people say, well, if they start doing that, devs will go broke. Trust me, they will not go broke. Look at Bethesda, look at Rockstar, look at CD Projekt Red. I know CD Projekt Red is just on the horizon. They're just getting up there. But have they gone broke? They haven't gone broke. They have a really good reputation. CD Projekt Red is up there with respected as a developer, even though they are still kind of, I wouldn't consider them an indie developer, but they're kind of like on the verge. Bethesda is all about the gamer. They are fans making games. That's what they've always said. They are fans making games. They care so much about the games that they make. Just look at Skyrim, look at Fallout, look at all the Elder Scrolls games. It's an amazing world that they created, and they create it for the gamer. They create it for the fans. They create it for the people. They don't forget that they were made by the gamers. And every time they deliver, every freaking time they deliver. And again, like I said, Rockstar has a different kind of view about the way that they make video games than, say, Bethesda, because Rockstar it feels like they have so much confidence in what they do. It's like they don't even say anything. They're so big. They've released so many amazing games. I mean, freaking Red Dead Redemption. I don't even have to say more than that. Just Red Dead Redemption. It's like, dude, and they don't even say anything. They're just like, they don't boast about it. They don't like say it in the winds. Oh, we created Red Dead Redemption. No, they don't. And they're creating a sequel to Red Dead Redemption. Or it was just called Red Dead Revolution. Have they said anything? They haven't said anything. A lot of developers, like, when they're gonna create a sequel to get people hyped, they keep saying it over and over and over and over, and they're just like, oh my god, we're gonna do this sequel, it's gonna come out in 2013, it's gonna come out in 2014, and you're just like, oh, okay. Some of the biggest appeal that Rockstar has is that they're not constantly boasting about what they're doing. They're working in the shadows. And every time they make something, they bring it. Grand Theft Auto 5, I know, is going to be really good. And do we know that much about it? We don't know that much about it. They give us little things here and there. They tease us. And I think that's a great marketing skill, because it's like they're keeping us curious. They're keeping us on edge. They're like, oh man, and they've got that reputation of being good developers, of caring about their games, and of releasing something good for the gamers, and sticking to what they do best, and never forgetting that. I know this phrase has probably become cliche and overused, but this applies in this whole, what I'm talking about, quality over quantity. It applies so well, because you've got to think about the quality before the quantity, because if you make something really, really good, and you put in your passion into it, and you do what you've always done, and you make it good, and you improve in that thing, people will buy it. The video game industry is all about reputation. It's all about it. It's kind of like the movie industry. It's like, you've got your directors, your specific directors. It's like, a Steven Spielberg movie. It's like, oh, it's probably gonna be pretty good. You got an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's like, oh my god. And if you've got a bad reputation, you're probably going to start going downhill, and it's going to be harder to get back up. You're going to lose the trust of people. You're going to lose the sales. And it's just a bad marketing skill. It's not hard to make it. It's not hard to make it big. It's really not. Because gamers, all they want to do is they want a great experience. They want something fun. It's entertainment. And a lot of gamers want to experience the boom of technology and the possibilities that are available now. And don't ruin that by pissing people off and by annoying them and by being that salesperson that's constantly on their backs telling them, oh, you should buy this or you should buy that. Everybody hates that type of person. Everybody. It's like, dude, I came here to have some fun. I came here to buy what I bought. Let me enjoy it, and then we'll talk later. You know, if I later on, you could come up with some DLC, and trust me, I will be interested. And if I can, I will buy it. And don't release one next month because I'm probably still saving up for the other one. That's pretty much all I had to say. This was a pretty big one. I hope you guys found that interesting, and I hope I didn't offend any of you, because now this is just me bringing up an issue for you guys to think about. It's not me siding over one side with another, or me saying DLCs are bad, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we should accept it for what it is, because it's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep frustrating us if we're just like, oh, DLCs, it's just going to keep frustrating you if you don't accept it, because it is the future of gaming. I've read so many articles in Game Informer, and it is the future of gaming. There just has to be a middle ground. Like I said, there has to be more marketing skills. There's got to be more. It's got to be done in a smarter way, because it is suffering right now. It's being abused, and it's being very, very one-sided and selfish, and just milking the gamers. Because nobody could deny that that's exactly what's happening, because of how many DLCs are thrown at you with just one game. And not all developers do this, but a lot of them do. So I just think that things should change if that's the direction that we're going towards. And I mean, that's great that video games are becoming more known, and I just hope that more people become a little more appreciative of it and what developers do. But I think developers should also not forget where they started and how they started, and who they're doing this for. They really shouldn't forget that, so that there could be that middle ground and that mutual respect for one another, which I think is one of the most important things in this industry. Like I said, it's all about reputation, and it's all about the support of your gamers, because if you forget about that, that's it. You're gonna go down. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later.